And right now at noon, a hurricane is intensifying in the Gulf of Mexico on a path straight for Florida. Hurricane Idalia is expected to bring strong wind, a storm surge, and dangerous hurricane-force winds to the state in the next 2 days.
This is going to be a major hurricane, likely a Category 3, and where it's scheduled to hit along this big bend, and we've not really had a hurricane strike this area for a long time.
Yeah, Idalia is expected to be the first hurricane to hit Florida this season. Thanks for joining us this noon hour. I'm Lisa Gonzalez. Meteorologist Eileen Javora will join us in a moment, tracking the storm for you in real time. But first, let's go to Florida and show you these live pictures right now from Gainesville, Florida. And you can see the cloud cover overhead. Things look pretty calm right now, but that storm is expected to hit here tomorrow. But last night, the storm made landfall on the western tip of Cuba. Heavy rain flooded streets, as you see here. Some 600 families have been evacuated in Pinar del Rio from high-risk areas. And you can see all of the water in the flooded streets in this video. Earlier today, the International Space Station passed over Hurricane Idalia, and in these images, you can see the formation of the hurricane very clearly as it approaches Florida. Let's turn it over to meteorologist Eileen Javora. Where is it right now, Eileen?
Well, it's a couple hundred miles off the coast of Florida, at least the center of it, but the rain bands are already affecting West Florida along the coast here. Anywhere from Tampa and Clearwater, they've had some gusts around 40 miles an hour with some thunderstorms here, and also down towards the Naples area near and around Fort Myers, also seeing some gustier winds. But around the center of the storm is where those sustained winds are tracked, and right now they're up to 90 miles an hour. Again, that's around the center of the storm. Do you think that landfall will likely happen during the morning time tomorrow as a Category 3 storm, likely making landfall with 125-mile-per-hour winds somewhere between Tallahassee and Ocala? It will likely weaken, though, through the day tomorrow as it moves over land. Still a tropical storm over Georgia and South Carolina by Thursday morning, and then it will likely gradually head out to sea. So we are looking at a very healthy tracking of Idalia right now, and those winds likely will have a big issue for most of Florida. So we're going to be tracking those issues all coming up, including the storm surge Lisa will talk about and the wind damage that is possible here in North Florida.
All right, Eileen, we'll check back in with you then. In the meantime, millions of Floridians are bracing for the storm as officials warn that Hurricane Idalia will turn into a Cat 3 hurricane when it does make landfall tomorrow. You can see people filling sandbags here ahead of the storm's arrival, getting prepared. Other families covering their garage doors, hoping to keep the water out.
This one's different. I have a good feeling about things, and this one, I don't have a really great feeling about it. I'm hopeful, but I just think that we're about due.
And officials in the state of Florida urging those in the eye of the storm to leave their homes ahead of the potentially life-threatening storm. NBC's Priscilla Thompson is on the ground in Cedar Key.
Well, Cedar Key, Florida is under a mandatory evacuation. Folks have until 4 p.m. Eastern time to get out. And what we are seeing is folks continuing to race against the clock to finish those storm preps. Here, these business owners have put up caution tape and effectively opened these glass sliding doors in the front and the back of the building. And their hope is that when that storm surge, which could be up to 12 feet, comes through, it'll be able to wash right through here and won't actually cause any major structural damage. And so these folks are done for the day. They are heading out, and up and down this waterfront, we are seeing businesses boarded up in anticipation of this hurricane, which is preparing to make landfall here in the next 24 hours. Already, the governor has activated the National Guard. We're talking about 5,500 National Guardsmen pre-positioned throughout the state. There are thousands of high water rescue vehicles ready to go for those search and rescue efforts if needed. And the message from officials at this point is for folks to get out, that now is the time to act. Do not wait, because they are expecting that this hurricane could be very destructive and potentially even deadly. Priscilla Thompson, Cedar Key, Florida, NBC News.
And let's go back outside live, taking a live look at Key West. And in this camera angle, we are seeing some precipitation on the camera lens. We are seeing the water moving and the trees moving, even those palm fronds really moving around right now, and much thicker clouds than what we saw from Gainesville. Meteorologist Eileen Javora has more on the storm surge, Eileen, that we're expecting.
Yeah, we'll get to the storm surge in just a moment. I just want to show you on radar what is going on in Key West. You can see these bands, the outer bands of Idalia hitting the islands there, and also moving its way up the west coast. Here's the center of the storm, still well off the coast, but in these outer bands, you really can get some gustier winds. In Clearwater, Florida, near and around Tampa, they had some gusts to around 40 miles an hour. As you work your way north, it is pretty quiet in a place like Cedar Key, but this area here, in this Big Bend area, you can see the arc here, the Big Bend area of Florida, likely going to take that direct hit from this storm. And as it comes on shore, it will help to push the seawater on shore. That's what storm surge is, and it could be even up to about 15 feet of seawater coming into that Cedar Key area. It's a relatively unpopulated area compared to, say, Tampa or Sarasota, but Cedar Key nonetheless, small little cluster of islands there, really going to be seeing some of that storm surge. And then the rest of the area, Big Bend here, is a lot of preserves and wildlife areas, mangroves. You kind of get the idea. It's not that beachy Florida look, but nonetheless, any of the inlets and the rivers are going to take on some of that seawater as well. How about the gusty winds? Boy, we're really going to see the winds ramp up in the overnight. Look at the track of the wind gusts. This is 5 a.m. in the morning. Ocala, Gainesville, getting those gusts to around 50. Same thing around Perry. We'll probably see some gusts around 70. And where that very center of the eye goes, we'll likely see those gusts above 100 miles per hour. And then those gusts will continue on its way up towards the Savannah area as it continues to weaken. But even in Savannah, they could likely see some of those tropical storm gusts around as Idalia passes through and near to where they are.
Well, and Eileen, I know you lived in Florida for several years and you've been through your share of hurricanes.
Yes.
How does this one prepare, and how do you see this one compared to the other hurricanes that you've lived through and tracked?
If this Category 3 storm was going into the Tampa area, it'd be a much different story. The coastline, the way it's shaped and the way it's arced there's not a lot of people living there right on that shoreline, so that's good. But nonetheless, when you have a Category 3 landfalling hurricane in Florida, even the inland areas will see wind damage. I think that's one notable thing, is if you've got gusts above 100 miles an hour in places, near and around the Gainesville, Ocala, Tallahassee area, you're going to see damage.
And also just the speed, once it does make landfall, that it moves across the land. Of course, it slows down, but that could also play a big part, right?
Yeah, if it was a slower moving storm, it could potentially have some more of those flash flooding situations with a lot of rain falling. But because it's going to move along, that 4 to 8 inches of rain for a place like Florida can be manageable. It just depends on what exact location it hits, those rain bands.
All right, Eileen, I know you'll continue to track it for us. Thank you so much. And we will continue to follow the storm with our team of meteorologists as it approaches Florida, right on the KCRA 3 app. Make sure you download it. It is free, and enable those push alerts.